Wow. What is going on this summer window, man? First we get Cunha, and at that point I'm thinking, we got him early in the window. This is lovely. This is nice. Then we drag it. And then within the space of a couple of months, now we get Mbeumo, and it looks like we're gonna get Benjamin Sesko. This is crazy. No more of the dark days of Garnacho up front, or Rasmus Højlund up front, or Anthony right wing. We're actually signing a new front three. This is what I wanted at the start of the window. I said we needed 3 brand new attackers, and we needed a central midfielder and a goalkeeper, but a goalkeeper's probably lower on the priority list. I said 3 new fresh attackers because we've had Rashford, we've had Anthony, we've had Sancho, we've had Garnacho. It's not worked. Rashford to a certain extent did, but it got to the point where it was at the end of his time at Man United, the end of the story. It was time to move on for himself and for the club. But Anthony needs to be sold permanently. Jadon Sancho, don't know what's going on with that, but Garnacho, he's the one. He's the toxic egg in this dressing room. He's the one with the big ego and the ability, and it's not matching up. So he's the one that needs to go. But finally, it looks like the deal's not done just yet. There still needs to be talks because Newcastle did offer more than what Manchester United did for Benjamin Sesko. However, Man United said they would only bid if Sesko indicates that he wants to join Manchester United over Newcastle, and they have. So now that we know Sesko wants to join Man United, just get the deal done. It's a positive. Like I said, I'm not going to pretend and sit here and say, I know everything about my man. My preference was Mateta from Crystal Palace because I feel like he's more Prem proven. We need more Premier League proven players like Cunha, like Mbeumo. They're perfect because they will not need no adaptation to the league, to the pace, none of that. They've already done their thing in the Premier League, so they will be perfect. Whereas Sesko, Bundesliga, obviously, from what I've seen, he's got an absolute wonderful strike on him, like an absolute cannon of a strike on him. Obviously, we know he's tall, so that can be an aerial threat in the box. Obviously, I don't know what his link-up play is like, so we're just going to have to wait and see with that. But at least with his height and his shooting prowess, we can kind of utilise that. Because with Rasmus Højlund, the amount of times we would get crosses into the box. You're seeing Dorgu now. He's starting to cook with his crosses into the box. And Rasmus Højlund is never there. He's never there at any point. So finally, it looks like we're going to get a striker that attacks the ball. His height is already a weapon in itself from set pieces. So that's good. We're obviously going to have to wait and see what it's going to be like with his hold-up play. But if he can just hit the ground running, then that front three of Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko with Ahmad and Bruno Fernandes just doing what they do in and around that, all of a sudden, our attack is looking healthy. And about time. I'm tired of going into games thinking, who's going to score the goal today? It looks like we're going to have that sort. So that's good. Obviously, my apologies for the lack of uploads. Long form, obviously, you've been seeing. I've been doing the football content. I've been doing the Man United stuff outside of this. But the long form YouTube, I'm going to try and make a return. So let's just see what happens, man. Obviously, I've been seeing the pre-season games, as you've been seeing from my short form reactions. So like I said, man, we scored 4 goals in a game, which I was more shocked about. Even against Everton, although we drew, I saw a lot of positives in that, where it was one touch, it was fast forward, it was quick. So that was very, very, very encouraging to see. Like I said, Amorim, he's obviously said a lot in the press conferences during pre-season, saying that he went into games thinking that it would be a struggle, that we were the underdog, even against teams that we should beat on paper. Forget paper, stature. So that was kind of concerning. Obviously, he's saying that he wants to stay 20 years. So again, if you want to stay the distance, you got to perform, my brother. And last season, the reality is you didn't. I'm not saying it was all on him. Like I said, my stance is majority of these players need to go. I have not forgiven them for that absolute horrendous, bruv. That horrendous Europa League final against Spurs. I'm still traumatised from that, bruv. Look, I've grown hair, I've grown a beard since that time, bruv. It's peak, bruv. Nah, man. A lot of those players need to go. Luke Shaw's and players like that, I don't know why they're still here. Obviously, we've got rid of Eriksen, which is good. We've sent Rashford to Barcelona, and already he seems to be cooking there. Like I said, in another world, I would have liked to have kept Rashford, because I still think on his day, he's our best attacker when he's at his best. But again, it's just too much of this. Some months you're elite, some months you look rubbish. And like I said, I just feel like he lost a hunger when he was at Manchester United. So again, like I said earlier, it was just good for him to just part ways. He's at Barcelona now. Good luck to him. But yeah, as for Manchester United, like I said, I want a central midfielder. I think Baleba at Crystal Palace, not Crystal Palace, flipping now, I'm thinking of Wharton. Baleba at Brighton is a very, very, very good option. He's energetic, he's all action. That's what we need. We need someone with legs in our midfield. We have too many midfielders like Casemiro's who, yes, they have the experience, they're good on the ball in certain aspects, but they just can't run, bro. We kept playing the likes of Casemiro, Eriksen. Kobbie Mainoo is not a sitter. He needs to be someone that's in the final third. He can't be someone that sits in a double pivot. And that's the same with Bruno Fernandes. We rejected £100 million for him, which could have been absolutely healthy in terms of getting other targets like a goalkeeper and another midfielder. But it is what it is. We've kept him. He's committed his future to the club. So we're just going to have to take that. And like I said, because Bruno's got so much credit in the bank, you can't really get angry, even though some might not rate him as a footballer. But like I said, the stuff he's done for the club, you can't really go against that. So it's a bit techie with that. But as for the players we should get, I think Baleba from Brighton will be a good option, or Wharton from Crystal Palace. That's why I got the two mixed up earlier, bruh. But yeah, get Wharton from Crystal Palace, who's press resistance, he's good on the ball, he can sit in the double pivot just in front of the back three. He'll be perfect in my opinion. We've already got Lenny Euro, who I'm loving at the moment. He looks fantastic. Aiden Heaven's is gonna grow into his position. Obviously, we've got Lissandro Martinez, Maguire and De Ligt. So defensively, and obviously Luke Shaw, even though I think we should get rid of him, can play the left CB option. Fullback, we've got Dalot, Mazraoui. Ahmad can play wing back, and so can Dorgu. So we're pretty healthy in those areas. Obviously, our attack, you've seen Mbeumo, Cunha, Ahmad, Bruno. And if we get Sesko, it's looking healthy. But we just need a central mid, and then we can just bring on the season. I can't wait. Obviously, our next game's Fiorentina for a David De Gea send-off, so we'll see what happens there. But it's been a good pre-season, man. I can't lie. I've been very, very happy with what I've seen so far. Hopefully, we can carry this on, because we can't have another season like last season. 15th, I won't do that again. But yeah, guys, that's been a quick sum up of pre-season transfers, expectations, I guess. So yeah, we're making a return to YouTube. So guys, if you can, smash the likes. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on this video. I think we can. We've grown a lot since. I think when I ended the season, we just hit 10k. We're about to hit 20k subscribers. So big up to you lot. Let's keep the momentum going, man. Drop a comment below. Who do you think's been our best player in pre-season so far? And who's a player you would want in the transfer window? I'm going with Mateta, but it looks like it's going to be Sesko. But yeah, man. Rival fans, you've had the last laugh. We're coming back!